Hari Om all. Welcome to this live conversation with Swami Advayananda, the resident Acharya of the 19th Vedanta Course of Chinmaya Mission. I am Srinath Mohandas, Assistant Professor in the School of Ethics, Governance, Culture and Social Systems of Chinmaya Mission Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university. I'll be facilitating this conversation tonight. Let's start with an invocation. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Before we start the conversation, may I introduce Swami Advayananda, who is here to talk to us about the 19th Vedanta course at Sandivani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. As many of us would know, the course is about to start on the Makar Sankranti day next year, that is January 15, 2024. Swami Advayananda is the right person to talk to us, not only because he is a resident Acharya of the 19th Vedanta course, but he was also a student, perhaps the youngest student in the history of Sandivani Sadhanalaya. He joined the course as an 18-year-old and was bestowed with Brahmacharya Diksha by Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda in 1992. Thereafter, he served at various centers of Chinmaya Mission, also working very closely with youth, helping them develop clarity and purpose in life. Swamiji was also initiated into sannyas by Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayanji in 2003. Swamiji is presently serving as the president of Chinmaya International Foundation and as a trustee of Chinmaya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university. Swami Advayananda was also the resident Acharya of the 15th Vedanta course between 2011 and 13 at Sandivani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. He was also the resident Acharya for the Tamil English Vedanta course between 2000 and 2002 at Sandivani Vidya Mandir, Coimbatore. Hari Om Swamiji, welcome.
Hari Om,
Thank you for
Srinath.
being here.
Thank you, Srinath.
Swamiji, I'll go straight into the conversation now, since we have just 30 minutes with us. Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda conceived the idea of a residential Vedanta academy for young men and women in early 1960s. We also know that the very first batch of the academy had 30 students in 1963. Can you please explain the vision behind this particular initiative, and also how did it come into being?
Okay. If you would like to know what is a vision, just look at the word, look at the title, the name which Pujya Gurudev gave for the Sandipani. He called it Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Each of these words have got enormous depth in it. Sandipani is the name of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's Guru. And he was it is just needless to say that he was a master of all shastras, all the 14 realms of knowledge of the Indian tradition, all the various kalas, 64 kalas. He was a master, right? Master Guru of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. You can just imagine. Now, that's the word Sandipani tells that the essential wisdom of the scriptures, the shastras, the Hindu shastras, that entire knowledge will be communicated to the student. So that is the power of the word Sandipani. The word Sandipani also, if you take the word, it means effulgent light, deeper, right? And then samyak, from these words. So the brilliance of our Indian knowledge systems, the traditional wisdom, the essential scriptures, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, then the portions of Brahma Sutra which are essential to comprehend the whole knowledge systems. Not only that, various Prakarana Granthas which go to give clarity for this knowledge. Prakarana Granthas texts authored, preliminary basic texts authored by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, Sri Vidyaranya Swamiji, later great Mahatmas like Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi. In other words, the entire knowledge is given to the students, which I don't think institutions are there. In a few years, that to remember, in 2 years, all this knowledge is provided. Now, that is the word Sandipani. Now, you take the word Sadhanalaya. Sadhanalaya means abode of sadhana, the spiritual practices. Knowledge has to be cooked, so to say, in sadhana. Only then the knowledge becomes rooted, a person can become well established, and the real fragrance of the knowledge starts to percolate first within the individual and also emanate for all others around. So, in Sandipani Sadhanalaya, the knowledge is given. That the practice of that knowledge, the way by which knowledge can become part and parcel of the individual, so that the knowledge becomes transformative in nature, not just informative, transformative in nature. Right? So all these things happen in this Gurukula, right? Where the student and the teacher, they all live together. Right? And this way, under the watchful eyes of the teachers, the students evolve. Not just watchful, also guiding presence of the teachers, the students evolve, become transformed within. And the purpose of Sandipani is this individual transformation, but individual transformation also available for the society and the world at large. These students who have gained this knowledge, now they in turn become effective, capable, and true emissaries of this wisdom. And they serve the society at large. Not with the attitude of I am teacher. That is not what Gurudev, with the attitude of I am a sadhaka. The very sharing of the knowledge becomes a means by which each one of them evolve. And that way, when they share that knowledge, they personally evolve, and also society is benefited. And the knowledge no more remains somewhere in some citadels or some places where the knowledge only Himalayan, no, only Kashi, no. The knowledge comes to all of us, and it is available for each and every one. This great grand vision, this very ennobling vision of Pujya Gurudev, really speaking, is compassion to each and every one of us, is in one word, Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Right? So this is the vision of Pujya Gurudev. And how did it come about? When Pujya Gurudev, when he studied with his own guru, Sri Swami Tapovanamji, he saw the beauty and value of this knowledge. And it is known, Gurudev himself shared this, that as he used to meditate on the banks of the Ganges at Uttarakashi, at Gangotri, it seemed as though Gangaji said that I start in the Himalayas, but I flow to the plains and benefit the whole nation. The same way, that kind of compulsion, inward compulsion in Gurudev arose. It is all the sankalpa of the Lord only. What else can we say? That this knowledge which I have gained in the Himalayas should also reach each and every one. That is how the Sandipani. So Gurudev wanted the very same knowledge what he received from his master, Sri Swami Tapovanam, from his master, Sri Swami Shivananji, to be available for all of us. And that is how, in the compassion of our master, we have the Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Later on, the Sandipani also expanded to other places. In Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Bombay, it is taught in English. In Sandipani Himalayas in Siddhabari, it's taught in Hindi. Later on, Sandipanis were started in other places also, Coimbatore in Tamil, in also Kadapa district. Like that, many places in Telugu. Sandipani West started in US. Now Sandipanis are also there in other places like Trinidad, South Africa. Puja Gurudev's vision, uh, encompassing all of us all over the globe, that is Sandipani. That is the Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Yeah, I hope I have answered your question, Srinath.
Yes, Swamiji, it was
Yeah,
very detailed and very beautifully explained, Swamiji, as you always do. Uh, Swamiji, you were just an 18-year-old student when you joined the Sandipani Sadhanalaya,
that's
and
just a number.
the decision
Okay.
you the decision you made is not something many 18-year-olds would do at that
Mm.
age. Therefore, can you help us understand what prompted you to do this decision?
I cannot say what that I took. It just happened, Srinath. You see, my see, it all started with my father. Let me start with that. Somebody told my father in Chennai that uh, Swami Chinmayananji is having a Gita, program Gita at Siddhabari in Himalayas. My father, probably around at that time, probably around 35 or whatever, I cannot say. I don't remember exactly what year and all. So the word Himalaya touched him. Said he wanted to go to Himalayas. Nothing to do with Bhagavad Gita, Himalayas. He has not met Gurudev before. And that Bhagavad Gita marathon camp Puja Gurudev conducted in, at that time we used to call Swamiji, Gurudev. So Gurudev conducted the Bhagavad Gita marathon camp, all the 18 chapters, right? Now, when my father went there, he was utterly struck by Puja Gurudev and the wisdom of the Gita. And when he came back home, it was a very different person. He got the whole family involved. Then he got my mother involved. Then all of us children. So whenever Gurudev used to come to Chennai for Jnana Yajnas and all, the discourses which Puja Gurudev used to give, we used to go there as youngsters. Now, again in 1988, yes, Puja Gurudev had in Siddhabari, again he had a Vivekachudamani marathon camp. He said marathon camp, it goes to 40 days, 45 days. It's that extension, right? So he said all of us can, the whole family, he took us. I also did not go for any Vedanta or Vivekachudamani or anything of that. I went because of Himalayas. The same thing happened to me. Ah, I got love struck with Puja Gurudev, devotion struck with Gurudev, and compelling love for that Vedanta, what he taught. I was studying my 11th grade, 11th standard, probably 15, 16, I don't know what age 11th standard is. But every class which Puja Gurudev took was so beautiful, inspirational, and it answered all my questions as a youngster about God. So many things one can have, is it not? Not that necessarily you have all those questions, but the whole wisdom when Puja Gurudev revealed through Viveka Chudamani, the great text authored by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, that really caught me. And I cannot say what charm it put on me, that knowledge and Puja Gurudev's way of sharing it. I said, Gurudev, I want to personally meet you. He said, you want to meet me in person? I said, yes, I want to. I went and told. See, at that time, what happened was there were brahmacharis were there from Sandipni Sadhanalaya. Puja Guruji had taken a batch. So all those youngsters were there. Now, when those youngsters, brahmacharis were all there, I got an idea that there's some place where this is being taught. So I went to Gurudev and I said, I want this knowledge. By so seeing them and being with them, I understood there's some in Sandipni Sadhanalaya is there where it is taught methodically, systematically. So I said, I want to study this knowledge. Gurudev said, you want to study? You want to learn? And somehow, whatever, I don't know what Gurudev said, yes. And then he spoke to my parents. And it was, of course, when they spoke to parents, and then parents also, initially my mother had good hesitation probably, but then she also, then finally, by Gurudev's grace and blessings, it happened. So after he told that after your 12th, you come and join. I said, I want to join now. He said, no, you finish your 12th and come and join. Usually in Sandipni, we take graduates. Probably Gurudev made an exception out of compassion I don't think there's more reason to that. But all happened by Gurudev's grace and will. Yeah. So that is what, So
Thank
what
you, Swami.
prompted me to take, I would say it is the blessings of my parents and the compassion of Puja Gurudev, and probably my deep, wish I wanted to study Vedanta. Yeah, that was the reason.
Swamiji, this is very inspirational. I hope there are many 18-year-olds listening to our conversation and wanting to join the course as soon as they turn 20, because that is the age limit that we have kept.
Yes, yes, 20.
Swamiji, so now can you describe what is Vedanta in a very few words, and also how does the study of Vedanta help an individual, especially a young man or a woman, in this day and age?
Okay. What is Vedanta? Vedanta is complete knowledge, is fulfilling knowledge, it is true knowledge, which is the actual knowledge. Now you may say, Swamiji, what are these words you are using? Fulfilling knowledge, because knowledge, see, when we study something, it actually leaves us with a sense of dissatisfaction, because we know something more is to be. Knowledge also leads to dissatisfaction, non-fulfillment. But Vedanta is something knowing which you feel complete. It's a very rare knowledge. That's why it's called Rajavidya, kingly knowledge. Rajaguhyam, kingly secret. That's how Bhagavan Shri Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, I also say it is complete knowledge. Okay, one is fulfilling, another is complete knowledge. Why complete knowledge? When we study physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, mathematics, we are studying something of the world. Very rarely we consider who is the person who is studying this. What is his real nature? Who am I? What is the subject? This is not, only the object is studied, not the subject. Vedanta, by the knowledge of the subject, the self, reveals also the truth of the world around. What is the world in truth, in essence, in nature? So, by gaining the insight into oneself, one gains an insight into the world also. So, thus, it is complete knowledge. Puja Gurudev used to speak of Vedanta as subjective science, as compared to the objective science. So, subjective science. I love very much what our Guruji Swami Tejomayanji says about Vedanta. He says very beautifully, yes, what is Vedanta? He says, it is a mirror in which you see yourself. It's a mirror in which you see yourself. You see? So what is Vedanta? Vedanta is this wonderful knowledge of oneself. Who am I? We take ourselves to be the body, we take ourselves to be the mind, we take ourselves to be something else. And then based on this, we also relationship with others, we also designate ourselves as this or that, But what are we really? What is the core of me? What is the world in truth? Vedanta gives this kind of knowledge. And you were asking this question, how does it, what is the benefit of it for an individual and a young individual? Remember, young or old doesn't matter for Vedanta. Vedanta is for all. Because why? Vedanta gives fulfillment. Who does not want fulfillment? Who does not want completion? Who does not want a sense of utter satisfaction? Vedanta gives that. And that's why Vedanta is for all. Right? But then what is the, then at old age I can study. No. Vedanta, if you can study when you are young, you have a tremendous advantage. I can tell this because I studied young. I don't need any proof from anyone what is the benefit of Vedanta for a young person. You see, for example, in all these, all these devices or anything we get, computer, so many things we devise, all the devices are there. In all the devices, there will be a manual, isn't it? And you know what is the first instruction in any manual?
Read carefully.
Read it first. Read this first. Read it
Yeah,
first and carefully, right?
correct.
Now, like this, we have a whole enormous, very complicated instrument we have, this body, mind, intellect, and all. And nobody has taught us how to use it. What is the methodology? What is this function? How to use it to the best? Vedanta is a manual for life. And when you read it first, when you read it young, you have a tremendous advantage of life. We all know many people read this kind of excellent, wonderful science and knowledge sometime at the fag end, and then they ask this question, why did you not study it before? Who prevents you from studying it before? You seek it, you get it. Yeah? All right.
Yes, Swamiji. Uh, Swamiji, that actually takes me to the next question, which is
Hmm.
there are many universities in India and abroad, including Chinmaya Mission Vidyapeeth, where we have a course on integrated masters Advaita Vedanta, a 5-year program. So, how is the Vedanta course at Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai, different from any of these Advaita Vedanta programs across the world?
It's an interesting question. Let me say this way. From a flower, you remove fragrance. What do you have? From fire, you remove light. What do you have? From music, you remove rhythm and raga. What do you get? From the human heart, you remove love. What is left? What I mean to say is that there are certain essential things which go along with Vedanta. Only then Vedanta is transformative. You want informative Vedanta or you want transformative Vedanta? Vedanta has to be acquired. The knowledge of Vedanta has to be acquired at the lotus feet of a teacher. Right? In an atmosphere where the Vedanta can become integrated with you, not staying at the head as one more burden, and only head becomes more weight. There's no head weight here. Here, from the knowledge has to sink to your heart. In Sandipani Sadhanalaya, transformative Vedanta is bestowed, which goes along with those necessary mechanisms or necessary practices which can transform you. And that is why the word sadhanalaya, japa, dhyana, not just studying from some books. No, a master is there to explain you, guide you, be with you. And our Gurudev used to say, the air that you breathe in Sandipani is Sri Swami Tapovanamji's grace, his master's grace. There is a magical, I cannot tell you more than this except to say there is magic in Sandipani Sadhanalaya for a youngster who comes there, and it just transforms you. You are no more left as what old, that you are a changed person. 2 years, intense, right? And it provides that. Meaning, in other words, it is transformative Vedanta, which is the true differentiating factor between an academic program in some university and a Gurukula-led program at Sandipani, right? That is the thing.
Thank you, Swamiji. This is very
Srinath,
beautiful. Very,
I'm not saying universities should not offer. Let universities offer. Spiritual
yeah.
seekers, they require this Vedanta.
Yes,
Philosophers,
Swamiji.
academicians require that Vedanta. Okay, there is a role for that, and there's a very important place for this Sandipani.
Yes, Swamiji. So that being the case, then what are the eligibility criteria for an individual to apply to Sandipani Sadhanalaya? Or
You are asked, or in other
in other
words,
words, what will Swamiji be looking for while selecting the candidates for the course?
why you want me to divulge my secrets or what?
Swamiji, for the audience, those who are
Okay, let
inspired to
me let
join.
me let me just say in one thing what I'm not looking for.
Hmm.
We are not looking for people who say I know Vedanta. We're not looking for people who say that I know everything. There's a famous story. Somebody, the water is already filled, and somebody pours more and more water. Then water just goes out.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing goes inside. So we're looking forward for those receptacles which can gain that knowledge. Okay, let me say this in the words of Upanishad. Let me say, the Upanishad says, Kata Upanishad, Yame Vaisha Vrinute Tena Labhya. Yam Yeva Yesha Vrinute Tena Labhya. He who seeks it shall get it. He who seeks shall gain it. In other words, earnestness is what is the primary deciding factor. I really want it. I really seek this knowledge. I really want to gain this knowledge from learned, from teachers who are dedicated also to the path. I really want to gain the vision of the Lord. I really want to be a person who is transformed, be useful. I really want that earnestness is there, right? So that earnestness, one will not be perfect because we don't want to, perfection is something which is gained in due course of time. But the seeking should be genuine. That is what is the true eligibility for this knowledge of Vedanta. Yeah.
Yes,
I,
Swamiji.
and more than this, I will not tell because there are certain things we have to keep also to find out.
Yeah, sure, Swamiji. Swamiji, before I go to the private chat, one last question from my side, after which I'll open the chat. Um, Swamiji, so after the Vedanta course, after the successful completion of 2 years Vedanta course, what are the options available to a student? What will he do after that?
What is the ideal thing to be done? I will tell you. Knowledge will never go waste. Okay? Knowledge will never go waste. But after gaining this knowledge, if you dedicate yourself to the path, Vedanta course will give you a very, it will give you the vision for your life and the way to reach it. That is what it will give you. Now, we have to walk the path to reach to that fulfillment. That dedication is something which has to be there. So finally, when the knowledge is given, it will give you that conviction. I want to walk the path to reach the goal. Right? That will be there. Now, what is the ideal thing? The ideal thing is that we need to have an atmosphere where I can practice this knowledge and evolve. So in the if you want to say in the words of the scriptures, that abhyasa has to happen. There's a beautiful statement of Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Tat chintanam, tat katanam, anyonyam tat prabodhanam, etadeka paratvam cha brahmabhyasam vidurbuddha. The wise call this as brahmabhyasa. What is brahmabhyasa? Tat chintanam, reflection on that. Tat katanam, exposition on that. Tat katanam. Anyonyam tat prabodhanam, mutually sharing this knowledge and putting our mind fully into that. This is called as Brahmabhyasa. Now, if you want to ask me what is Brahmabhyasa, this is all Tat Chintanam, Tat Katanam, Anyonyam, Tat Prabodhanam. No, all these things, if you want to put in one word, I would say Chinmaya Mission. What do all of us do after gaining this knowledge in Chinmaya Mission? Tat Chintanam, reflect upon it. Tat Katanam, we share upon it. Anyonyam tat prabodhanam, mutually benefiting from the knowledge which is shared. So if a person who has gained this knowledge in dedication and gratitude and understanding the importance of what they can do for their own path to reach the ultimate, right?
Hmm.
Then they walk this path. That becomes the most ideal. Even otherwise, after studying, then one person can decide what they want to do. Uh, Now, this, there are people who can do this, and there are people who would say, "That's fine. I have gained this knowledge. Let me pursue the path of the world." That is also possible. There are people. So, in other words, what is available? Knowledge will make you full. With that knowledge, you decide what you want to do. The ideal thing is be on the path to reach that truth. Hmm? And that path, the Chinmaya Mission, under Puja Gurudev's grace, is readily available for all of us to serve and to walk the path. Yeah?
Yes, Swamiji. There are a few questions in private chat I can see now. Um,
Yeah.
so one very repetitive question that has come is, what is the rationale behind the age qualification, and what options are available to those beyond the age group? This is a question that has come.
Gurudev's vision was large, vast, and for everybody. A certain age requires for a certain way of concrete and dedicated, fully putting the mind. A certain age, these things are little more readily possible. But the knowledge of Vedanta is available for everybody. The other group who don't suit that age, who don't fit into that age, the option available is the Vedanta Sadhaka course, which recently
Hmm.
we already had a batch of Vedanta Sadhaka course where they came, they also studied, they also learned, they also understood the sadhanas, and now they are free to walk the path, uh, able to move forward. They join also, they're capable now of taking study classes, Bal Vihar, Yuva Kendra, the grassroots activities. No, the
Hmm.
option of gaining the knowledge and in a manner that is fulfilling and also walking the path is available for everyone. Now,
Hmm.
for example, suppose gymnasium, you want to learn gymnastics, there's a certain age about it. you know
Yeah.
you there is a certain age which is advisable, which is appropriate, which is the optimal age for certain things, right? But knowledge is available for everybody, right? That in Gurudev's vision, he gave it for all of us, but for a certain kind of this kind of you know course, this kind of completeness, where you have to study Sanskrit also. It will help you
Hmm.
because that is required. You study Sanskrit. Sanskrit will be taught from the beginning, basics onwards. You master the language, you master Vedanta. No, all those things coming together requires a certain. So, age is a number, but a certain age is required for certain things, right?
Hmm.
Knowledge which is required at whatever level, at whatever time, that is available through various ways, various programs of the Chinmaya Mission. And if one wants to do a dedicated residential program, the Vedanta Sadhaka course is available. Puja Swamiji, Swami Swarupananji, I'm sure in due course of time will also decide where, when, and all those things these programs can be conducted. It is always there. Yeah.
Yes, Swamiji. Uh, an interesting question from the viewer,
Mhm.
from a viewer. It
Yeah.
is one expected to become a brahmachari after the course?
You see, is one expected? Nothing is expected. Nothing is expected. What is expected is earnestness. What is expected is you dedicate yourself those 2 years for deep study and reflection and also the sadhanas and all. This is expected. Now at the end of the course, you are bestowed with a vision. You are also bestowed with you have the clarity of the goal and the path. Now, with that knowledge, you decide. Nothing can be, such kind of things cannot be compulsory. This,
Yeah.
this is all, each one has to decide what they want to do.
Yes,
And
Swamiji.
these are not compulsory, but But definitely, once you gain that vision, and then you know what is to, you will have the wisdom to decide. Yeah.
Yes, Swamiji. One more question. Swamiji, does the mission offer an abridged course on Vedanta for youth who may not desire to teach this knowledge but use the knowledge for individual benefit in life? This is a question from a viewer.
See, knowledge is always available. Huh? Offer an abridged course on Vedanta for youth. You know, maybe you know, but others, all people may not know that we have the Yovir course,
Yes.
which is a program for 3 months, 2 months. You know, we have this kind of Yovir course for youth. They can join, but you don't have to wait for Chinmaya International Foundation offers a plethora of courses which can be done online at home also. There's a e-Vedanta. There is plenty of availability for Chinmaya International Foundation. When I said plethora of courses, just to give an example, Foundation Vedanta course, Advanced Vedanta course, Bhagavad Gita course, Upanishad course, plenty of courses are there. Sanskrit course. So such kind of courses are also available. Residential program, yes, for the youth, the Yovir program. The Yovir course is one. Youth Empowerment Program. YEP, it's well known. Right? Then other also this course, what I said, Vedanta Sadhaka course. All these courses are available. Have I answered, Srinath, or you want any further clarity on that?
No, Swamiji, I think that was clear. Swamiji, you did mention about how Sanskrit will be taught at the 2-year course, 2-year Vedanta course. Here is a question which asks, is knowledge of Sanskrit a prerequisite to join the
No.
Vedanta course?
Earnestness is a prerequisite, Srinath. Earnestness is prerequisite. Sanskrit will be taught in the core. If in the program, you have, other than the core Vedanta sessions, you have Vedic chanting, which also will be taught. Portions of the Vedas you will also learn. You also have Sanskrit, which is very essential, which will be taught in the course. From basics, it will be taught. Remember, I was from Tamil Nadu. Okay, I did not know even A, A, E, E and all those things. Letter and alphabets also I did not know. But we started from basics, right? And so all those things will be taught. And when I said taught, what will be required for you to grasp the wisdom of Vedanta? Everything will be taught during the Sandipini course, 2 years course. From basics to advanced level will be taught, right? And such Sanskrit is also important because the commentaries authored by Shankaracharya, which are all in Sanskrit, will also be taught. And you require those. Of course, even for studying Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, you require all of them. But even that extra Sanskrit which is required, whereby you can study the Sanskrit commentaries, will also be taught.
Yes, Swamiji.
I said will be taught there.
Right.
Not a prerequisite.
Swamiji, so that takes me to the last question actually, and I'm very curious to know this. What would be a typical day of a student in Sandipani?
Okay. I will speak of a program, meaning what are the sessions are going to be conducted, right? I will say a typical day. I will tell you first what is the core. 5:30 morning is a Vedic chanting and meditation. So it starts 5:30 is the first session. Then of course you have milk or tea, whatever you have. Then afterwards will be Vedanta session, 7 to 8. Then breakfast, all those things. Then you have a little duration of time where what you studied, you revise, you digest, you reflect upon it, and all those things. That's a duration of time. Then somewhere around probably 11 o'clock, 10:30, you will have a Sanskrit session. Right. Then around 12 o'clock, that time, there will be some sadhana sessions on japa and all those things also. And also stotras and all will also be chant, you'll be taught. Also japa also, all those things. Then of course lunch will be there. Again, you have a duration of time till 3 o'clock, 3:30. So you have a duration of time where again you can use it for your deeper study and reflection. right? All those things. See, study is one thing. To time for reflection and digesting is also important. So all those things. Then you have again evening. You have a Vedanta session, right? 4 to 5, 5:50. Then afterwards there will be Narayan Seva, Shramdan. You have, you be part of the ashram. You clean and you do certain physical things. It not only relaxes you, body exercise all required, but also gives in you the sense of seva, which is so important, sense of service. Then afterwards evening we have arti, the beautiful Jagdishwara Mandir, right? And after the arti, of course before arti you take bath and all those things, these are things. Then after the arti we have bhajans and satsang. For some time there will be some bhajans. We all sing together bhajans. Devotion is very important aspect. Knowledge without devotion, the head and the heart has to come together finally, otherwise you'll be split person. So you have bhajans and also satsang, where bhagavata, where Ramayana, these important texts on devotion also students get to get to gain that knowledge and the transformativeness, all these things together. So your session gets over at 8 o'clock. Sometimes in the evening we also have video sessions of Puja Gurudev on important texts like Bhagavad Gita, or that Gurudev sessions also go on. So this is actually what I said is schedule. Usually we get up 4 o'clock, the bell rings. Okay, usually we get up at 4 o'clock. It is required because by that time so many things are taught. Each day you have to cover up also what you have, and also you have to have time for your own personal japa, dhyana, all those things. All those things are taught, and then you also have to practice also. So I would say it typically from my experience, it goes 4 o'clock to morning. From morning, it will go up to 10 o'clock, 10:30, and better to sleep early because you can get up early and then you can catch up. So this is it's a schedule in short. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. I mean, that's all the questions we have for now. But before that, before we do the conclusion, Swamiji, do you have any message for the audience? Young,
I have a
old?
very important message. Remember, this is a very rare knowledge. This should be available for all those youngsters who need, who seek, who want it. Each and every one, whether we fit in that age or we don't fit in that age, they should become ambassadors of Sandipni Sadhanalaya. Ambassadors of Sandipni Sadhanalaya. Now, ambassador means what should be done? Share the information about the program far and wide. Information sharing is our responsibility. Inspiration is God's responsibility. I say again, information sharing is what we have to do. Now, the youngster who's inspired, we do not know where that youngster is. It will be, they will be there. Where they are there, they will be there. Every Sandipani we have got, we have students, they are there, right? But information should be shared. Let us share the information. God will give the inspiration to the right students. Yeah. So, what is the message? All of you be ambassadors of Sandipani. And that way, let the vision of Puja Gurudev giving maximum happiness for the maximum people, for the maximum time, we'll all become that emissaries of change in our own small way. Yeah. And if you are in that age and you have the earnestness for this knowledge, come. Puja Gurudev calls you. Right? The Mukhya Acharya is Pujya Swami Swarupanji, the global head of the Chinmaya Mukhya Acharya. Then I'll be serving as a residential Acharya. And this will be a chance for all of us to go deep into the Shastra and live and abide in that knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for your time. I'm sure that everyone listening to this conversation is as inspired as I am right now. And to the audience, as Swamiji said, Let us be the ambassadors of Sandeep Sadhanalaya, the Vedanta course. Therefore, please go ahead and apply for the 19th Vedanta course at Santipani Sadhanalaya, Mumbai. As Swamiji said, please uh, inform this to all the people around, especially the youngsters who would like to come for the course. Also encourage, not just inform, also encourage them. And as Swamiji said, we really don't know who is inspired and who will ultimately join the course. Thank you so much to all the audience here. Um, Before we part, let's close with the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamata Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Shubharatri.
Thank you, Srinath. Thank you for all of the participants. Hari.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Srinath.